Hello and welcome back, Pokemon trainers, Mavericks, and YouTubers alike. We've got quite a bit more news coming out about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, and so I've got Mimikyu here to help explain the news. I've also went out and picked up one of these. It's about as close as I can get to a physical copy of Pokemon Gold and Silver for the Nintendo 3DS, as I could pick up the original Game Boy versions, not going to be working on the 3DS's cartridge slot, so you see the problem. There's no physical release of them. That's a shame, but I understand $10 download games, generally speaking, don't get physical releases. So with that said, let us jump right into it. I got the Pokemon trainer hat on, I got my Hawaiian shirt on. We're going to be visiting the Alola region again. If you guys hear a lot of noise going on in the background, it's because there's a massive windstorm going on, so the house is going to be ripped apart. In the midst of a tornado, I will still deliver you some commentary, some news, and discussion about some video games. Sound like a plan? Great, let's jump right into it. So I wanted to begin with Mimikyu receiving a Z move. This has been all but confirmed, and Mimikyu is one of the most popular Pokemon that came out of Ultra Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon themselves, so of course it's going to carry over and get a Z move. Now, a lot of people consider Mimikyu to be a problem as a totem Pokemon challenge as well. Very difficult challenge to overcome for many of the trainers. I think it's pretty cool. There's a toy that has all but confirmed this to be a possibility where it gets a Z Crystal. There's been Z Crystal leaks for Mimikyu as well. So the Z move, don't have the full video and details of it occurring, but it is going to be getting a Z move. So congratulations, Mimikyu. It seems that people love you so much that you got your own Z move, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I think Mimikyu is one of the coolest Pokemon out there. Leave me a big thumbs up if you agree with me. Now, on to the main event itself. A lot of people have raised the question, what if you could use two Pokemon moves in one single battle? Now that is a good question, and it seems that Ultra Sun and Moon will let you kind of do that. Kind of. So what's going to be happening with that is that Rotom, as I covered before, is going to allow you, through the support of friendship, to use Z-Power twice in one battle. Now this is a bit of a problem and a bit of an issue, honestly, because it's just going to make you able to steamroll through the game. So when X and Y came out, did anyone have an issue getting through the standard story and campaign mode of the game? Did anyone really have a problem? Like, they literally couldn't do it. If XP share didn't make it super easy, then I don't know what did, man. Even if you disabled XP share, it still was a very easy game to get through, and you add in something like Mega Evolution, which made it even easier. Now you're adding in 2 Z moves per battle. It's just like, wow, man. You know, is it going to become so easy that you could just literally walk through the game? Yeah, obviously you have to do moves. Yeah, obviously you have to do a little bit of grinding. But I mean, 2 Z moves is a bit OP. So how is this really going to reflect competitive battles? And what would happen if you could just use 2 moves in general in a battle? That's a real good question too. Really, it's very anticlimactic. If you could use 2 moves per... What do you want? What do you want? What is it? Well, what? What? You're interrupting a video. Is that it? You just want petted? Sorry for that interruption. As I was saying, it's a bit anticlimactic, this video, because if you could just use 2 moves, it doesn't have to be Z moves, that would completely break the game. Let me explain. So, there are certain moves that are pretty strategic, there are certain moves that are OP, and there's other moves that are powerful and leave devastating effects. So imagine being able to use Confuse Ray and Attract at the same time. Imagine being able to use Protect and Swords Dance over and over again, because you're technically not chaining together Protect attacks. So you'd be able to use it non-stop, and then max your attack, and then you'd be able to use agility, protect, and you'd have a sweeper on your hands that wouldn't be able to be stopped, just almost infinitely. Again, your opponent could do the same thing, so really, the only thing that would happen is that it would come down to who's the fastest, best glass cannon Pokemon there are. So essentially, nothing would change other than the simple fact that strategy would probably go out the window, and it would just be a race to who can make a sweeper quickest. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, there would be moves that would be able to counter that, but I think that it would be way too often used. Like, 99% of trainers would end up using that kind of tactic versus, oh, I'm just going to use Flamethrower and Ice Beam or Fire Blast twice or, you know, a bunch of other moves. You see what I'm saying? So, being stalled hard, it would just make you rage quit. So, 2 moves per turn, not a good idea. Now, the Rotom Z power in competitive, well, technically you can't really use Rotom in competitive. So unless Ultra Sun and Moon really changes that and allows this to happen in competitive, I don't think this will be a problem. Because at the end of the day, once again, as I stated before earlier, how difficult is Sun and Moon? If you just grab yourself 6 decent Pokemon and you train them up and you play through it, you can beat it. It's not that difficult. So what does it matter if you can use 2 Z moves at once? Some of these Z moves are so overpowered and OP that they basically destroy the opponents instantly. It's like a one-hit kill. I mean, you know, forget the whole guillotine and the sheer cold attacks and Fisher strikes. You already have a one-hit kill on your hands anyways with the Z moves, just depending on which Pokemon you use and which Pokemon you try to use. So that's not really that good, man, at the end of the day. Again, I'm not a competitive player. By no means am I competitive. So if there is the ability to use the Rotom Dex power-up, where you're able to recover a Z move and use 2 per competitive battle, cool, that's going to completely shift competitive play. Because once again, all that's going to end up doing is basically taking out 2 of your Pokemon. So, you know, why not just say no Z powers? It's a 4v4 because with Z powers, we're going to take out 2 of each other's Pokemon anyways. And it's like people will sit here and say, oh, no, I can counter, I can strategize against it. But at the same time, it's extremely difficult, annoying. It just seems like way overpowered, man. You know, let me give you one short rant here. One short but proto, you know, here, man. Not but proto. But comment section, back in my day, Hyper Beam was one of the most OP moves with Explosion. Those were the 2 biggest, baddest moves, and Mewtwo was the most powerful Pokemon. There's something to be said for Gen 1's simplicity, and even Gen 2's simplicity. It wasn't until Gen 3 that a lot of things started getting really complicated, complex with abilities, changing the physical and special attacks, and things like that, and fixing a lot of the glitches. So, we have a more refined game, but at the same time, we have a game that is filled with all kinds of ridiculous things and attacks that almost no person would be able to counter every single one of them with a team of 6. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are excited to be able to play with Mimikyu's Z move. Maybe that's something that will be really cool. You'll be able to use Mimikyu's Z move twice in one battle. Maybe it will help you out with some trial captains or some very ridiculous, difficult challenges that are going to be coming, like potential gyms or something. Again, I'm trying to stay my hardest spoiler-free here, so if I'm misspeaking here, you understand the gist of what I'm saying. If you have a really difficult trainer and they have 6 Pokemon, being able to use a Z move is really nice. At the same time, I still don't see it as something that is going to really revolutionize and change the main story of the game, because how difficult is that game to begin with? Again, not that difficult. We'll see about Ultra Sun and Moon. Maybe it will make the battles extremely difficult, but at the end of the day, I very much doubt it, because Pokemon appeals to a casual and hardcore fan base, so they can't make it too difficult. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's me. That's my note to sign out, so I'm going to be seeing you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave me a big thumbs up if you did. Leave me a big thumbs down and a constructive comment if you did not. Let me know what I can do better, and I guess me and Mimikyu will be bidding you farewell and a lowland goodbye, as it were. I've been your host, Protomario, and I'm signing out. As always, good gaming, God bless, and thank you for watching.